Hey everybody, Dr. Pancake Face here, and in this video, I'm going to be going over how to be a good host in Payday 2. Now, whenever you host in a game, you do take on a little bit of responsibility. You have responsibility to make sure that certain things happen, certain things don't happen, and it's just nice to make sure that anyone in your lobby has a good time. Because I mean, if you join someone else's lobby, you don't want to have a shitty experience. So try to extend that courtesy to other people. Now, when we're making the lobby, let me go on ahead and open up a lobby here. Yeah, we'll do Big Bank. So there are a couple of things here to keep in mind. The tactic. If you want to do something specific, make sure that you actually pick the tactic that you want to do. Dentist, what do you... Okay, you're done. Awesome. Yeah, tactic. If you want to go stealth, make sure that, you pick stealth. So that anyone that goes to join in knows that you're doing stealth, and they can make sure that they have stealth skills. And stealth armor, and stealth weapons, and all that shit. If you're doing loud, it might be good to go on ahead and pick loud. Just so that people know ahead of time. It's not really necessary. Because, I mean, if you want to pick any, whatever. But it would be good on certain heists that are normally stealthed, I guess you could say, to pick loud so that people know for sure, okay, I'm going into this, I need to have, loud equipment, loud armor, loud skills, all that stuff. Now for the kicking, you got 3 different choices. You could pick host kick, vote kick, and kick disabled. Now, kick disabled is a terrible idea. And here's why. Let's say you have somebody that joins your lobby that is being a complete douchebag. Maybe they're using, foul language. Maybe they're doing shit they're not supposed to be doing. Maybe they're doing stuff to intentionally fuck up the game. You're going to want to kick them. And when you kick them, you can either vote to kick or you can just have host kick privileges. Now, the reason why vote to kick kind of sucks is because let's say the other 2 people in the lobby aren't really paying attention. And you pick a vote. Well, obviously you're going to vote for, and they're going to vote against. So, unless somebody else in the lobby is paying attention, you're kind of fucked. And the guy's sticking in. So pick host kick. Because, I mean, if you really want to, you can just type in chat, hey guys, Joe Blow is a douchebag. You guys want to kick him? And if they want to kick him, then sure, go ahead. But if they're like, whatever, we don't care, then I guess keep him. Now for the permissions, you can actually set up public, private, friends only, shit like that. Sometimes depending on what you do, like sometimes I like to set it up as private at first. Like on Bank Heist, for example. And I'll roll in, do all the stealth shit, and set it to public. Let people come in and loot stuff. Maybe they'll come in with a saw. And hell, it's free experience, free money. I don't care. For the free experience and free money for them at least. So that's good to do. I'm gonna set it to private for this, just for the sake of not having people dropping in while I'm trying to do this. Now, here we have the reputation limit. Now this is good to have. Because on the harder missions, you can up the reputation limit here. So let's say you only want people that are level 50 or higher to join, because it's a little bit harder. We're doing Big Bank. We don't want level 10s to join in and be a hindrance. So let's make it level 50. Only people level 50 or higher can join in. But I mean, if it's something like Bank Heist or jewelry store or diamond store or something like that, I mean, it's not really going to be that big of a deal. You can leave the reputation limit at 0. Let new people join in. Or hell, maybe somebody who just hit infamy and they're just at level 0 and they want to jump in, get some points. Level 0. Or even if they're a noob. Everyone's a noob at one point. Everyone started at 0. I started at 0. Anyone that you see that's infamy level 25 and level 100, they were all 0 at one point. Nobody started with all of the experience that they have. Everyone was a noob at one point, so let the noobs play. Now, Team AI, depending on what you're playing, you may want to pick this, you may not want to pick this. Like, let's say I'm playing, I don't know, rats. And I want to just go ahead and start. I don't want to wait for people to join. Clearly, I want to have Team AI running around with me until some more people join. So, that's usually good to have. For cheaters, if you care about having cheaters in there, then click this and it'll auto-kick cheaters. If you don't care, deselect it. I mean, honestly, cheaters, here's the thing. People that cheat only get labeled as cheaters if they modify the game so that they can have something that they need to pay for without actually paying for it. If somebody were to put a mod on that allows them to fly up into the air and shoot rockets out of their pistols, Overkill doesn't care about that. They're not going to label them as cheaters. But if somebody modifies the game so that they get a DLC that they were supposed to buy for, or that they were supposed to pay for, and they didn't pay for it, then they get labeled as a cheater. So, the way I look at it, the people who are actually, cheating aren't going to get kicked either way. And the auto-kick cheaters, all it's really going to do is just kick people that are, playing DLC without paying for it, or having gun skins without paying for them, or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of stupid in my opinion, so I usually turn that shit off. So, we are on private. Yeah. So, let's go. Let me show you something real quick. In this planning phase, I like to call it the pregame lobby, sort of. Because I usually think of planning phase as, the lobby that you get into where you can look at the loadouts and select the assets and shit like that. That's normally what I think of as a planning phase, but this is kind of a planning phase too. Because there's some things that you can do in here. Now, first off, when you're the host, you're the only person that has control over starting the heist. So, don't start when people are in their inventory. I mean, I've joined in sometimes and I'm like, oh shit, I need to go grab this gun real quick. Inventory, guns. Okay, where's this gun? And then the game starts, and I'm like, what? Or maybe I want to go and buy a certain gun, or respec. I mean, you don't know what people are doing in the inventory, because when you go into inventory here, you have access to everything. Maybe they're doing something stupid like changing a mask. Maybe they're modifying a gun. Maybe they're buying a gun. Maybe they are respecking their skills. I mean, if you were to go in and somebody had, refunded all of their skill points in their main skill tree and are buying new shit, and you just go, yeah, fuck it, I'm not waiting. Start heist. Well, now you have a person that doesn't have any good skills. Well, doesn't have any of the good skills that they want to have in their main tree. And has all of these unspent skill points. There we go. Bit of a tongue twister. They have all these unspent skill points. And all they're really going to do is just hinder the group. And it's not going to be beneficial to get in a hurry and rush, as opposed to just wait a few more seconds. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Who gives a shit? It's going to take you like 20, 30, 45 minutes to do the map anyways. It's not that big of a deal. Just wait a little bit longer for somebody to get out of inventory and be ready. Now, another thing to do is, pay attention to the chat. If somebody says something, or if somebody asks a question, that's where it's at. You're the host. You're the one in charge of the game. You need to pay attention to the chat. Communicate with the other people. Speaking of communication, make sure that everyone has... Make sure that you have the proper equipment that you need. Everyone has the right equipment before you start. Talk to people about their builds. Make sure that everyone isn't all carrying ammo bags. Shit like that. If you're doing something like the big bank and you need a saw, make sure you have a saw. If you're playing something and you're gonna need drill skills, make sure you have somebody with drill skills. Make sure you have somebody with Inspire. Make sure you have somebody with ECMs if you need ECMs. Make sure that you have what you need before you actually jump in. Because if somebody needs to switch to a different skill build, or respec their skills, or whatever, you can't do it once you've hit start heist. You can only do it here. So talk to the other players. Make sure that everyone has what they need to be able to complete the mission as quickly and efficiently as possible. Let's see. Yes. Another thing. If, let's say you have 3 people in, and you have the 3 different people with 3 different things that you need to complete the heist, and you need a 4th thing, and a 4th person joins, and you're like, hey man, we need you to bring this, or we need you to do this, and that person's like, no, fuck you, I'm doing this. I'm doing what I want to do. That may be room to kick. Ask them politely, see if they'll work with you. If they don't, just go on ahead and kick them, because it's gonna hinder the heist. It's gonna make things not as easy. If you absolutely have to have that 4th thing, then you gotta make room for somebody else. Go on ahead and kick them. I normally try not to kick people, but if you have to, you have to. Just go on ahead and do it. Now, if you have people in a lobby, and let's say you've just finished, don't just go and buy a contract and say, hey, we're doing this. Ask people. Say, hey, I want to go do this. You guys want to do that? It doesn't seem like that much, but it's little things like that make you a good host. But as far as kicking, if you are actually going to kick somebody, at least tell them you're going to kick them. Tell them why you're going to kick them. Don't just kick somebody when they join and go, whatever, fuck you, kick. At least say, hey, sorry, man. We have another person. They just quit. They're about to come back in. I got to kick you. Kick them. Don't just be a douchebag and go, fuck you, kick. So I think that does it for this area. Let's go on ahead and start the heist and get into here.
The benevolent bank has history old as you and
luck is where the time for action is now.
Okay, so here we are at what I like to call the planning lobby, planning phase. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want. Pre-game lobby, planning phase, whatever. Now, a couple of things that you want to do in here is definitely go over the plan. If you have a specific plan, go over it. Tell everybody, hey, I want to try and do this. Or, hey, let's try and do this first, and if that doesn't work, let's do this. It's good to discuss the plan with people as opposed to just assume that they know what you're doing. And like on here, for example, there's an escape plan. If you want to do a different escape plan, like bus stop, which is a must, an absolute must for the big bank, because fuck everything else. Discuss to the other people. Say, hey, let's do the bus stop. Make sure that you go in and select the bus stop as an escape plan. If you want to do on the bomb dockyard, if you want to do the boat escape, and you've unlocked the boat escape, tell people, hey, let's do the boat escape. Go in there, select the boat escape. It's going to be much easier. Let's do that. Yeah. You definitely want to go over your plans, go over your escape plans, all that kind of stuff. If you want to try and camp in a certain area, hold up in a certain area, go over it with people. Make sure that everyone is on the same page. Make sure that they know what you're doing, you know what they're doing, everybody knows what's going on. Another thing to do
is the entire
there we go.
Planning is one thing. Execution is another.
On other maps like Hoxton Breakout, for example, I farm that one constantly. And I can't tell you how many times I see people use key cards on things that probably aren't as helpful as others. Like maybe we have like 2 or 3 med kits and somebody goes and opens the infirmary. Why? Why the hell would you waste a key card on the infirmary when we have 2 or 3 medkits, or like 2 people with fully upgraded medkits, so they have 2 medkits apiece, both with extra uses. There's absolutely no reason to waste a keycard on the infirmary. Or, closing doors. Some people think it's a good idea to close doors. Some people don't. I personally don't think so, but at the same time, I'm usually carrying C4, so I'm able to blast the walkways, and we don't have to worry about getting flanked from that side. So you normally don't have to close the doors over there. For some people, the armory is important. For some people, they really want to be able to get upstairs. I personally have never seen the benefit of going upstairs. But, to each his own. So, if you're the host and you want the key cards to be used a certain way, discuss it with the people. Don't just get pissed at somebody and kick them because they used the card for something that you didn't want them to use it for. I mean, people aren't telepathic. They can't tell what you're thinking. Say, hey, let's only use the key cards for this. Save the key cards for objective and exit. If we find an extra one, we can open the upstairs. Or if we find an extra one, we can open the armory. Or, hey, we have 2 people with C4. That means we're going to have some extra key cards. We can open the upstairs, we can open the armory, we can open the infirmary. Cool. We got tons of C4. We'll be able to pop plenty of doors. Not a problem. Discuss this with people before you go in, as opposed to just kicking them. Another thing to do, make sure that everyone's okay with the assets that you buy. Because, some people might think that certain assets are more useful than others. I can attest to this. I've had times where I've gone to join into bank heists, and people will buy the camera feed, which sounds like an excellent idea. Have somebody sit out back on the camera, jumping around to different cameras, spotting people. Well, if you don't have a spotter, then camera feed sounds great. But if you have a spotter and you can buy the spy cams, why would you buy anything else? In my opinion, the spy cams are way better than the camera feed. But that's just me. That's my play style. So make sure that the assets are okay with everybody. If somebody wants to switch something, like let's say you bought the key card, you're used to buying the key card, and you bought the key card, and we're on here, and somebody wants, I don't know, a zip line or a dead drop or one of the hacking things or something. I don't know. Let's say they want something other than the key card, and I don't know, maybe you have some C4. Somebody's carrying C4. Then, hey, not a problem. Switch the key card. You got the C4. You can pop the doors with that. Another thing I almost forgot about. The loadouts and the crew setup. Now, you can come in here and you can look at everybody's setup. And you can say, okay, so this guy's using this gun, this guy's using this gun. Make sure that nobody's going in with really dumb guns. I know that it sounds kind of silly to think that, but sometimes some people don't think about that. Maybe somebody has just done a stealth mission and they've put on their loud skills, but they don't have their loud armor or their loud guns. I've actually seen that happen before. It's not uncommon. So hey man, you want to wear something heavier than that? You want to bring a different gun, maybe? You still want to have that ACM on you? Talk to people. Make sure that they have the right equipment, the right armor, the right guns. If you're going into a stealth mission, say, hey man, are you sure you want to bring that gun with you? Can you maybe get something else that has a lower concealment? Talk to people about their loadouts. Make sure that, everybody has exactly what they need before you start. Now, that pretty much does it for all of the pre-planning phases. Now, there are a couple of things to go over once you've joined. So let's go ahead and jump on in, and I'll talk about them.
It's a big bank, but it's still a bank. It's a beautiful building, but we're bringing ugly business. We'll need codes to get deeper in, so look for their servers.
So I'll come when the shit hits the fan.
Okay, so once you're in, there's some missions where you can do a little bit stealth, and you might want to go loud. Big Bank is an excellent example of this. So you can start to mask up, and if you want to just go guns blazing and nobody really gives a shit, then go on ahead and mask up. But if you want to go in silent, you can do this number. walk right in,
You know the drill.
and,
Watch
you know,
the guards
do a little
and
bit of
cameras.
sneaky,
Civilians
get into there
look around
and
for
do the
key cards.
computer.
The bank
Maybe get a
manager.
couple of things
Anything that
done
might help.
stealth mode before you go loud. You know, it make things a little bit easier on you. You don't have to, but, you know, it helps. Some other things to do. If you're doing a map that has, you know, a lot of different stuff, try to maybe delegate some duties. Say, hey, Bobby, can you go and do this? Hey, Jimbo, can you go and get the pig on the crane? Hey, I don't know, other person with the name that I haven't thought about. Can you go and get the computer while I hit this computer down here? You know, stuff like that. Try to communicate with people and make sure that they're not all just running around like chickens with their heads cut off, just doing random shit. You're in charge. You're the host. Delegate some duties. Say, hey, can you guys do this? It'll make things go a little bit smoother, make things a little bit more efficient, and, you know, get you through the heist that much quicker. Now, when you communicate, I know not a lot of people like to do this, but honestly, use a mic. If you have a mic, use it. It's a lot easier to communicate to people when you're doing something like walking around doing something than rather to have to let me type out stuff while, oh dang it, I gotta change it to some, dang it, now they're doing this, oh crap, there's a guard, let me move. You know, if you're not a fast typer, it might not be the easiest thing to type. So, mics. It's amazing that, you know, you can use a mic and talk to people somewhere else like this, and no one ever wants to do it. It blows my mind. You can literally talk into a thing, turns your voice into data, sends it across the internet, comes to someone else, you know, through their headphones. Frankly, that's amazing. I don't know why people don't use more often. I like to use mics. So yeah, when I communicate, I usually try to use mics. Sometimes I use keyboards, depending on if I need to be quiet or not. So, you know, depending on the situation, you may have to use a keyboard, but try to use a mic if you can. And finally, I think the most important thing about being a host, don't be a dick. Plain and simple. Don't be a dick. If somebody does something stupid, like I remember, let me see if I can find a door. Oh, guard. Yeah, I remember when I first started playing, and I saw a room like this. I think it was on Bank Heist, and I see this, and I'm like, wait a second, that looks like an ECM. I have ECMs. Can I open that with an ECM? And I just put an ECM down over the keycard thing. I mean, looking back on it, you can laugh about it, but at the time, I felt kind of silly because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that it was stupid, and I'm sure somebody probably laughed at me. I'd laugh at me. If somebody does something like that, then, you know, tell them what they did, tell them why it's stupid, and tell them what they should be doing. If somebody walks up to here and goes, ooh, C4, and puts a trip mine down, well, that's not gonna work. Explain to them, you know, hey, it doesn't work that way, you gotta buy C4 to be able to pop the doors like that. Because, I mean, if somebody's new, you know, they're not gonna know. So, you know, move the knowledge along. If somebody that's a higher level does something stupid like that, politely tell them not to do it anymore. If they really don't know, like if somebody's level 100 and they don't know that you can use ECMs to open a door, I think there's a bigger issue there than not being able to open the door. So, you know, maybe explain it to them. But if somebody is higher level and they just keep doing something stupid, which I've seen, it's not uncommon. But if they do actually do it, explain to them, you know, say, hey, can you please not do that anymore? I'd really like if you didn't do that. And if they continue to do it, then you may have to kick them. I normally give people multiple chances, you know, hey, please come over here and do this. Hey, please do this, please do that. I've literally had people that were like third infamy in here that did not know how to do the computers up there. I'm sitting down here hitting this computer over and over and over again, and they're just running around hitting each and every computer they see. And I'm like, dude, do you really not know how this works? You're third infamy, fourth infamy, and you haven't figured this out yet? All right, let me explain it to you. This is how it works. You know, whether people are high level or low level, if they don't know, they don't know. Just explain it to them. If they do know and they're still doing stupid shit and they don't want to listen, kick them. Grounds to kick them. If you want to give them one chance, give them one chance. If you want to give them multiple chances, give them multiple chances. But if they're not going to listen, if they don't want to do the right thing, and you know they know what they're doing, kick them. Now, speaking of kicking, I said it before and I'll say it again. Don't kick somebody without at least explaining to them why you're kicking them. If you want to open up the slot for somebody else, say, hey man, sorry, gotta open the slot for somebody else. Kick. My bad. If somebody's being a douche, say, hey, you're being a douche. Bye. Kick. If somebody speaks a foreign language, this one's kind of an interesting one. You know, I've been in matches before where people spoke foreign languages, and it can be difficult sometimes. I actually didn't realize it at first and was starting to get upset with the person. And then they said something, and it was in completely different language. And I was like, oh, well, don't I feel like a jackass? I've been saying, hey, you dipshit, come over here and do this. They don't even know what I'm saying. If they really do speak a foreign language, try what you can to communicate to them. See if you can communicate to them in whatever language you speak. Probably English, because I'm speaking English and you're watching this, so very possibly could be English. But try to communicate to them. You know, maybe try saying their name and, I don't know, jumping up and down, hitting something. Like if you want them to do something, you know, type their name and they'll go, oh, hey, that person's typing my name. And they might look and see you jumping up and down, and they'll go over, what does this person want? And then hit something. Hit the sink and go, I want you, sink. Hit the sink. You know, rudimentary communication. And if all else fails and they really are hindering the mission, then unfortunately you might have to kick them. If they're getting along just fine and they're doing what they need to be doing, then, you know, perfectly okay to leave them in. But if they're hindering the heist and they're complicating things, then you may just wind up having to kick them. Another thing to do in a game, have patience. People make mistakes. Shit happens. Have a little bit of patience. Sometimes people do stupid things. I am no exception. I have done my fair share of stupid things. I felt like a dumbass afterwards, but I've still done them. You know, have some patience. If it takes a couple of tries to get something done, then hey, whatever. Takes a couple of tries. Don't lose your shit after one failure. Oh, and this one. This one is a big one. Payday. Now, most people don't ever think about this, but there are some assholes out there that will kick the entire group right before payday, right before the end of the game, because they want all the experience, they want all the money for themselves. Don't be that guy. Just don't do it. Don't be that guy. Don't kick people before the end of the game and go, I got all the stuff, because then you're just an asshole. Nobody likes assholes. What you should do at the end of the heist is congratulate everybody. Hey, you just got through the heist. Good job. You didn't fuck it up. Congratulations, guys. Good game. Nicely done. And I mean, that's pretty much it. Do those things, and you'll have a good time. Other people will have a good time. People will enjoy being in your lobby. You may make some new friends. I've personally made plenty of friends playing Payday 2, being a good host. I've had people that were new to the game that joined, that were, you know, level 15, level 20. joined, didn't really know what they were doing, and I'm saying, hey, you know, do this, hey, don't do that, explaining things to them, and they're like, oh man, this guy's really nice, I'm gonna hang out with him, play a little bit more with him, you know. Just be nice, have patience, don't be a douche. Pretty simple. Have a good time. And that pretty much does it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, go on ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later. Pretty much the two reasons to collect back are they give you bonus experience, which is awesome, and they give you a bunch of monster guns, which is also awesome. But you do, unfortunately, have to buy the DLC to get those monsters. Damn! So the gun is fucking worthless on these guys. Shit! Ooh. Yep.